You don't look like you have ADHD.
Dude, everyone's a little ADHD sometimes. Have you tried just making a to-do list?
If you have ADHD, you've probably heard all these before, probably this week, and you're tired. So tired of explaining, of defending, of trying to make people understand what ADHD is. I'm Michelle. I was diagnosed with ADHD at 50. I spent 50 years having people misunderstand my brain. So today, I'm explaining what people don't understand about adult ADHD, the stuff nobody gets unless they have it. Not because I think one video will change everyone's mind, but because if you have adult ADHD, you need to hear you're not crazy, you're not making it up, and your struggle is real, even when people don't see it. Let's get into it. The first thing that people don't understand, ADHD is not about having no attention. It's about not being able to regulate attention. People hear attention deficit and think, oh, you can't pay attention to anything. Wrong. I can pay attention. I can hyper focus for hours on something that interests me, to the point where I forget to eat, pee, or even acknowledge that other humans exist. That's not a deficit of attention. That's dysregulated attention. I can't control where my attention goes, or how long it stays there, or when it leaves. If my brain finds something interesting, I'm locked in. Can't pull away even if I need to. If my brain finds something boring, I cannot force attention no matter how important it is. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. It just slips away. And this is a huge problem at work. Now, neurotypical people can choose where to put their attention. This is important, so I'm going to focus, even though it's boring. But ADHD brains can't do that. We can't override the interest-based nervous system. So when someone says, just focus on this, they're asking us to do something neurologically impossible. It's not laziness. It's not lack of discipline. It's a brain that doesn't have the controls that a neurotypical brain has. And here's the kicker. People see the hyperfocus and think, well, you can focus when you want to. No. I can focus when my brain wants to, not when I want to. Big difference. So when I say I have ADHD, I'm not saying I can't pay attention. I'm saying I can't regulate my attention. And that's a neurological difference, not a choice. The second thing to note, executive dysfunction is real and it's disabling. Executive function is planning, organizing, initiating tasks, time management, working memory, emotional regulation, basically all the things that you need to adult. ADHD brains have impaired executive function, not completely impaired, but inconsistently impaired, which makes it even more confusing. Some days I can do the thing, and some days I can't. And I don't know which day it'll be until I try. From the outside, this looks like she's just not trying. She did it yesterday, why can't she do it today? But from the inside, it feels like my brain won't let me start this task even though I desperately want to. I'm not choosing this, I'm stuck, which leads us to task paralysis, where you know you need to do something, you want to do it, but your brain just won't initiate. So you sit there, frozen, hating yourself for not being able to do a simple thing. And people think you're lazy, procrastinating, unmotivated, but you're not. You're experiencing executive dysfunction. And it's invisible, so people don't see it as a disability. They just see it as a character flaw. Just start the thing. Just get up and do it. And if I could just do it, I would. The problem is the just. That's the part my brain can't do. Initiation, that's executive function. And mine doesn't work reliably. So when I'm stuck, I'm not being lazy, I'm experiencing a neurological limitation. And that's disabling even if you can't see it. People understand physical disabilities. You can see someone in a wheelchair and you can understand that they can't walk. But executive dysfunction, it's invisible. So people think we're choosing not to function, but we're not. Our executive function is offline and we just can't turn it back on. The third thing people don't understand is that time blindness is real. I have no internal sense of time passing. None. Zero. Time is a social construct my brain doesn't participate in. Neurotypical people have an internal clock. They can estimate how long something will take, and they can feel time passing. But ADHD brains don't have that. Time either feels like now or not now. There's no gradient. So when I say I'll be there in 10 minutes, I genuinely believe that. My brain thinks 10 minutes is enough time, but it's not. It takes me 30. But I didn't know that until I was already late. And this is not me being disrespectful of your time. This is me being wrong about time because my brain can't estimate it. And people take it personally. If you cared, you'd be on time. I do care. I'm just bad at time. I set alarms, multiple alarms. Alarms to prepare for the thing, alarms to leave for the thing, alarms to remind me to set alarms. And I'm still late sometimes because my brain loses track of time between alarms. So I'll think, I have 15 minutes before I need to leave, and then suddenly it's 20 minutes later, I should have left 5 minutes ago, and now I haven't even put on shoes. So where did the time go? I don't know, my brain didn't track it. This is time blindness, and it's a core ADHD symptom. So when someone with ADHD is chronically late, it's not disrespect. It's a disability. We're not choosing to be late. We're failing to accurately perceive and manage time. And that's frustrating for everyone, especially us, because we're trying, we're setting alarms, we're leaving early, and we're still late because our brains don't process time the way neurotypical brains do. So please, if you have someone in your life with ADHD who's always late, it's not about you. It's about their brain not having a reliable sense of time. And maybe just build in buffer time. Because they're trying, their brain just doesn't cooperate. So here's the fourth thing. ADHD includes emotional dysregulation, and it's exhausting. People think ADHD is just about focus and hyperactivity. But emotional regulation, that's executive function too. And ADHD brains struggle with it. Our emotions are more intense. They come on faster and they're harder to regulate. So something small happens. Someone's tone is slightly off, or there's a minor criticism, a plan changes, and I'm immediately at 100% emotion. Not because I'm dramatic, but because my brain can't modulate emotional intensity. And it's not just negative emotions, it's positive emotions too. So for good news, I'm ecstatic, like can't contain myself levels of excited. And bad news, devastated, like end of the world levels of upset. There's no middle ground. Everything is intense. And people think you're overreacting. It's not that big a deal. Calm down. But I can't calm down. Not quickly. My brain doesn't have the brakes that a neurotypical brain has. So the emotion hits, full intensity, immediately, and then it takes time to come down. I'm not choosing to be emotional. I'm experiencing dysregulation, and it's exhausting for me and for people around me because I know I'm being too much. I can see people getting uncomfortable with my emotional intensity, but I can't just tone it down. It doesn't work that way. And then there's also rejection sensitive dysphoria. That's a fun one. ADHD brains are hypersensitive to perceived rejection, criticism, disapproval. A tiny comment that a neurotypical person would brush off feels like a personal attack to me. And I know it's not rational. I know I'm overreacting. But knowing doesn't stop the feeling. The emotional response is automatic, immediate, overwhelming. And I have to ride it out while hating myself for being so sensitive. And that's not a character flaw. It's neurology. And the last thing that people don't understand, ADHD is not low intelligence. It's not laziness. I can't tell you how many times people have implied or said outright that my ADHD struggles mean I'm just not smart enough or trying hard enough. ADHD has nothing to do with intelligence. You can be brilliant and have ADHD. You can be average intelligence and have ADHD. Intelligence doesn't prevent executive dysfunction. Being smart doesn't fix time blindness. High IQ doesn't cure emotional dysregulation. In fact, a lot of people with ADHD are very smart, which is why we went undiagnosed for so long. We were smart enough to compensate, to mask, to white knuckle our way through until we couldn't anymore. And then people are confused, but you're so capable. What happened? What happened is I ran out of compensation strategies. I can't mask anymore. The ADHD is showing. And that doesn't mean I got dumber. It means I got tired of working 3 times harder than everyone else just to appear normal. And also, ADHD is not laziness. Lazy is, I could do the thing, but I don't want to, so I won't. ADHD is, I desperately want to do the thing, but my brain won't let me initiate it, so I'm stuck in paralysis while hating myself. Very different. Lazy people are comfortable not doing things. ADHD people are distressed about not doing things. And that doesn't mean we're not lazy sometimes, but we're not relaxing on the couch thinking, I'll do it later. We're sitting there in full panic mode going, why can't I make myself do this? What's wrong with me? That's not laziness, that's executive dysfunction. And when people call us lazy, it adds shame on top of an already difficult struggle. We're not lazy, and we're doing the best with brains that won't cooperate. So please stop assuming that ADHD equals stupid or lazy. It doesn't. It means our brains work differently, and that requires different strategies, not judgment. Look, I get it. If you don't have ADHD, it is hard to understand. You can't see it, and it doesn't present consistently. A lot of ADHD symptoms look like things that everyone experiences sometimes. And I understand that everyone forgets things, everyone procrastinates, everyone gets distracted. But it's the frequency and severity. Everyone forgets things occasionally. ADHD people forget things constantly to the point of where it impairs daily functioning. And everyone procrastinates sometimes. But ADHD people experience task paralysis that prevents starting even when we desperately want to. And yes, everyone gets distracted. But ADHD people have dysregulated attention that makes focus unreliable and uncontrollable. Not the same. And when people say everyone's a little ADHD, well, it minimizes the real struggle. So if you have adult ADHD and you're tired of explaining yourself, I see you. You're not making it up. You're not exaggerating. You're not being dramatic. Your struggle is real, even when people don't see it. And to people who don't have ADHD but love someone who does, listen to them. Believe them. Stop comparing their struggle to your occasional forgetfulness. Because the more you can understand, the more you can support, and the less judgment people with ADHD have to navigate. If this resonated with you, please hit subscribe. I make videos about ADHD, trauma, and neurodivergent life. And drop a comment. What's something you wish people understood about your ADHD? I'm Michelle. Rise stronger, live brighter. See you in the next one.